Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Around South Jersey. I had the newest sheriff of Cumberland County, Mike Donato, with us. Mike, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well, Jim. I appreciate you having me tonight.
My pleasure. I have to be honest with you, all the time during the election, I'd never met Mike. I never had the privilege of meeting Mike. And I said, I've been in government 35 and a half years, and I never met Mike. And somebody said, well, you're lucky. And tell them why I was lucky.
Yeah, because I worked mostly in narcotics most of my career.
Undercover?
Yeah.
The prosecutor's department.
At the prosecutor's office, yeah.
She's wonderful, Jennifer Whit-McCrae.
Yes.
Good lady.
Yeah, she's had a very good career under them, under her administration. So.
Yeah, she really has. And she's got a heart of gold and, does a really nice job. So anyway, tonight's the first night I actually met Mike in person, but I hear wonderful things about you. And, then as we were talking before we went on the air, I was really surprised. Mike and I both went to St. Mary Magdalene, him 25 years behind me, but it was. I really enjoyed going there, and I'm sure you did too. Right?
No, I mean, absolutely. I met a lot of friends there, some people I still have, friendly with today, and I'll never forget when they were starting to do the tear down of the old gymnasium, cafeteria and all that. I drove by a few times and just shook my head like, wow, I played a lot of basketball games up there.
Yeah, that's
third
right,
floor.
third floor. Yeah, my son did too, the CYO.
Yeah, and I don't know how many pieces of pizza I ate in the cafeteria downstairs.
Yeah, that's where we had our lunches too.
Yeah.
So when you went there to that's where you went for cafeteria?
Yeah,
also,
it was down there, I guess, the first floor at the time.
Yeah, that was my school. That's where I was on that third floor, I guess. Well, I started which grade you were in, and then you kept moving up. But that building,
I didn't even know the school was actually in there.
Yeah, in fact, the church was in the basement.
Okay.
1954, the church that we know now opened up because I was there with my grandma as a little boy, and I went there with my grandma for the dedication. So before that, going with my parents, we were in the basement of the building. Is where the church was, at Monsignor Zegger's building.
Okay.
And then when I went there, the church was still on the bottom floor, and then floor number 1 was like 1 to 4, grades 1 to 4, and floor number 3 was grades 5 to 8, and then eventually it
turned into the gymnasium.
Right, once they built a new school. So and that was nice because my son Gary went the same as you did to St. Mary's, the new school. I remember watching him play CYO basketball or whatever. It
was very loud up there.
Yes, it was. That's true. It was.
You remember the basketball echoing, and what few people could fit in there. When it was pretty loud.
Yeah, it was a really good time. Of course, I know you felt sad, and I did too when they had to tear the building down.
Yeah, but it was kind of weird. Like when I'd heard about it, and naturally took a ride a couple different times. It was like, wow, that's pretty. Spent a lot of time there. 8 years. I was there first grade through 8th.
Yeah. Well, that's what's interesting too. Like I'm a year younger, and you probably are too, than the kids I went to school with. Because, maybe did you go to kindergarten down in?
No, I actually went to Marnell Powell kindergarten.
Okay, so you did go to kindergarten.
Yes.
I didn't go to kindergarten. My age group, we went right to first grade.
Okay.
So I was 5 in first grade. I graduated. In my senior year, I was 16. And I graduated at 17. I turned 17 in December, and then I graduated in June. And believe it or not, I went to Glassboro State College a week after I graduated because I wanted to be a teacher. And I took 9 credits. In those days, Mike, you only needed 6 to substitute. So
really?
While I was 17 years old, I was still substitute. I started substituting in Millville.
Okay.
I did Bacon School, Culver School, Sensor School, and my 18th birthday, I taught girls phys ed at the Bacon Junior High School. So they said that was interesting.
Times have changed a little bit now.
Yeah, at least you have to have 60 credits.
Yeah.
But they were really hurting then for substitute teachers, and even now, I think it's getting to a point where it's hard to find.
It is.
Subs.
My middle daughter's a first grade teacher. She graduated from Rowan, and I know that they were always looking for subs.
Yeah.
They have quite a few teacher-wise. I think they're okay this year, but it seems like they're always looking every year.
Where's she teach at?
She teaches at the charter school right in Bridgeton.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, that
did her first year.
Administration building.
Yeah, the old county admin. Yeah,
right,
actually. Yeah. And she did her first year. She taught there at Fairfield Township. First grade.
Gotcha.
So that's her. She loves that first grade.
The first
setting.
grade kids are great. Yeah. Kids up until like even 4th or 5th grade were pretty good. Once they hit puberty at 6th, 7th, and 8th, and I taught junior high. That was a tough age group.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know some, obviously some teachers that are teaching those older grades, and sometimes they have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, especially the junior high grades because the kids are finding themselves, But I did that for quite a few years as well. So when you graduated from Millville High School, what did you think you wanted to do?
So initially, when I started out, I went here to Cumberland County,
Uh-huh.
and I was thinking about going into accounting. I loved math for
You'd
some
have
odd
been
reason.
rich.
Yeah, you're probably better. I would probably have been a lot better.
All my accountants got money.
Right. I always tell people if you want to be a millionaire, don't go into law enforcement.
No,
you got to want
that's
to
for
do
sure.
that job.
Yeah, or education.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it.
But yeah, and I started taking classes over there for I don't know for whatever it was. I just loved math in
That's
high
good.
school and
Uh-huh.
algebra and everything, and then one thing led to another. I was actively involved with the fire department, the rescue squad.
Yeah,
and
tell me about that. All I see is you getting very involved with the Cedarville Fire Department, right?
Yeah, I mean, Cedarville's a small town, and it's the fire company. It's a lot of generations of family members in there. My father was in there, my brother was in there, and I took an interest to it as soon as I could when I turned
Yeah.
18. But as a kid, I mean, we spent a lot of time at the firehouse. It was right there in the middle of town, and everybody was kind of involved. And I mean, I'm into my 34th year of it now, and
Wow.
I just love it. It's just something you're not,
Well,
I'm never going to leave the fire department, unless I move out of the area, and that's just the way it is. But just like law enforcement, volunteers trying to get volunteers for that the fire service is very difficult.
Yeah, and boy, what a wonderful fire department you have in Cedarville. I've always been so impressed, and they put on great. What is it? The crab festival.
Yeah, the
and
crab
that type of
fest.
stuff. I've gone down there, but oh, by the way, you know who you have to thank for having cable television in Cedarville?
Who's that?
Me.
Really?
Yes, when you were a little boy. Yeah, 1980.
Well, I still remember like 3 and 6
Just
or
3,
whatever
3, 6,
couple
10, and
channels
12,
we
yeah.
had,
That's right.
back then.
Yeah, and I want to tell you, in 1980, another partner and I, we started the cable television system in Morris River, Commercial, Lawrence, Fairfield, Deerfield, and Down Township.
Is that when it was? It was 80?
81,
Okay.
yeah. And the people in Deerfield, Hope Hines, he was phenomenal. Everybody there was so helpful going through the red tape we had to get
I'm
through the
sure.
state in order to get accepted by each township. But they were just wonderful, and I love.
I don't. Obviously, you said 1980, 81. I don't remember the date of it, but I do remember when it finally, when it came through.
Yeah, it's probably 81.
It was like, wow, this is.
Yeah, something different. Now there's 300 channels.
Yeah.
And Facebook and YouTube. And
Yeah,
all that
you
kind
name
of
it.
stuff as well.
You can go on anywhere at this point.
But I tell you what. In fact, he called me the other day. We were cracking up. Is your mayor, Skip
Oh, Skip Bowman.
Bowman?
Yeah.
He is amazing. He's in his 80s. Got more energy than a 40-year-old.
Yeah,
And-
it's funny. It's like I always refer to like Channel 6 when they say there goes that news van. Like
Yeah,
I'll
that's
be
like
driving
him.
around the county and I'll see Skip's truck go by, and I was like, he's like all over the place. I think he's on a circuit for different breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He just drives around.
Oh, I just love his personality. In fact, he called me the other night. I was down at my cousin Menz's restaurant. Have you ever been down there in Rio Grande?
Yes.
That's the guy with the one leg was my Uncle Franklin, the guy's out
Okay.
front of there. And his wife was my dad's sister, Marie. So, I have close ties with them. That went down for their opening on Friday night. Big crowd, that was for sure. But Skip called while I was down there. We were talking. And he's talking about another guy I'm sure you know, Sybil.
Yes.
Everybody knows Sybil.
Yeah.
Have you been
They're
there?
doing a
I know
phenomenal-
you've been there. The fundraisers.
the fundraiser- couple of
That's
events
why you
we've had
guys
there.
win all the time. The Republicans go to Sybil's.
Civil puts out some good food,
Well, he does, doesn't he?
and listen, you can't beat the view.
Oh, my
just
God.
about sunset down there in
It's
Forty
fabulous,
City.
yeah.
I like that to be my second home down there.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time down there.
Yeah, it is. And, that's the other thing, folks. In Cumberland County, as Mike's talking about Fortescue, we have the other bay. We have the other, we have the Delaware Bay.
Yeah.
Sea Isle, Ocean City, they have the Atlantic Ocean. But there's nothing more beautiful than sitting at Hotel Charlesworth with the sunset, watching the sunset, and having some fabulous food that Sybil puts together. And he is quite a character, isn't he?
Yes.
Very charismatic, to say the least.
He's quite a character.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. He's
My two daughters used to work for, was it Jim and Shirley? When
right.
And they had it
Yeah.
back then. They worked a couple of summers for him.
They were nice people. too.
Yeah,
Very
they were
nice.
really nice.
Well, at one point in time, the Bull in the Barn's still in downtown.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the Newport House, I loved that too.
Yeah.
In
We used to
fact,
go, I obviously a lot many years ago, I went there. I used to go there quite a bit. Been there for dinner quite a few times.
Yeah. In fact, I just saw.
Tucked away.
Yeah,
you know.
was it? Yeah, yeah. But I mean, think about it. Yeah, a little township like Down with 3 really good restaurants. In fact, I did a wedding at Bob Campbell's place there. My cousin Kathy Felmy, who was with the CIA. Of course, she couldn't tell me until she retired, or she would have to shoot me. But I did her wedding at Newport House, and they loved the place, and the deer were out in the fields.
Yeah,
it was really.
It was pretty. It was nice back there. It'd been, I mean, obviously many years ago that had been there, but it was a good little spot.
So, did your dad grow up in Cedarville also?
So originally, my parents lived in Marion Street in Bridgeton.
Oh, okay.
And just before I was born, moved down to Cedarville there. And his parents lived right on Maple Avenue across from us. So for pretty much my entire life, I've lived in Cedarville, other than a few months or two after we'd gotten married, my wife and I, and had lived in Bridgeton before I went there to the police department.
Oh, weren't you in the Bridgeton Police Department?
Yes.
Was that your first job?
No, actually, I started at the sheriff's department.
Well, that's good. Started sheriff and then
started
ended
at
up
the
as
sheriff, and ended at the sheriff. I mean, that's
that is neat.
Something that's pretty good, pretty cool.
So were Tommy and Mike with you at that time?
Yeah, so actually we all worked together at the sheriff's
department. That's the
undersheriffs. Mike and Tommy Speranza.
Yeah.
We started back, those guys actually started before me in like 89, 90. I came in 94. We all worked at the jail for quite a period of time there when it was under the sheriff at the time.
Yes, I just talked to somebody, I forget it was up when I was doing Bear Panucci's show, and I talked about the jail being under the sheriff's department.
1995 is when that transfer went.
All right, because it was so I was freeholder from 92 or 82 rather to 91. Mm-hmm. So that period of time, and George Castellini was the sheriff, and Dan LaFerriere came in a little while, but Joe Zagari was like the warden of the jail. Yep. He was the undersheriff to George, and he did a really good job. I thought, I guess I wasn't that. I'm glad you told me it was 95.
Yeah, it was 95 because after I left the jail in 95 and then switched over to the enforcement division part of the sheriff's department, which had the courthouse and everything. And it wasn't long after that, I want to say that summer of 95 or the fall or sometime right around there, that the split happened with the Department of Corrections from the sheriff. I was under Forcinito.
Did Balicki become the ward? You know?
I believe that's when he when he was first in there. I believe he was the warden at the time.
Because he was hired from the prison. He retired from the prison.
And that would have been, that was under Jim Forcinito, sheriff, and he'd hired me.
And we were talking about, before we went in air, Mike and I, about the sheriffs. And when I was there, George Castellini Sr. was the sheriff. And then Dan LaFerriere got elected. And then it went back to Jim Forcinito, I believe, is how it went. You would probably know more on the history of it. And then Jim was there for quite a while. Did Mike Baruza knock Jim out?
Yeah, and I want to say it was in either 98 or 99, I believe, is when that happened, in that election. And
then somewhere, Sheriff Austino was in for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I guess backing up from 2023 to 2015, I don't know, 2013, I guess it was. So I don't know if there was somebody in between.
No, and not in between Sheriff Baruza and Sheriff Austino, no.
And folks, the thing that was interesting, and to Mike's credit, he and Dan LaFerriere are the only two I can think of that were not former Vineland police officers, because all of the ones we mentioned were former Vineland police officers. And of course, the city of Vineland's got lots and lots of people, so obviously they have an edge when it comes to voting, because Cedarville, you probably have 1,000 registered voters.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Over 1,000. Yeah.
So what do you attribute your success to? Joe Condo, I hope.
Well, I'd be in a lot of trouble if I didn't say that, but I would say it anyway.
Hey, you know whose birthday it is today, don't you?
I do not.
You don't?
No.
The most wonderful
Oh,
Republican
yeah.
County
Oh, that.
Chairman,
Well, yeah.
our
I thought you were going to say Joe Condo. I don't think it's his,
No.
but obviously Senator Testa's birthday
Yeah,
today. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mike.
I think it's going to take him about 2 weeks to enter
Answer.
the text messages and the
Yeah.
Facebook messages
Yeah.
that he's probably gotten. It may even be longer than 2
Yeah.
weeks.
It's interesting, too. I have 40-some hundred Facebook friends. Today, May 1st, there were 19 people that had birthday.
There's a lot.
Friends of mine.
That were friends of
You
yours.
too.
Yeah, I seen quite a few on mine when I had looked
I guess
at it.
May
too.
Day is the day. Lucky
Yeah.
we were born May 1st.
Yeah.
But none better than Mike Testa. Boy, what a great family, aren't they?
Yes. I've
his
gotten
dad.
to, obviously they were on the defense side of it, but I've known them for many years and would see, obviously, Mike Sr. and Mike Jr. at the courthouse over the years.
Oh,
and
that's right, yeah.
I'm sure I've been grilled by them a time or two over the years. But always just phenomenal people.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah,
would,
they are.
when they would see you, they would always talk to you and
Yeah.
treated you
Very
like,
personable.
very
Yeah.
personable. And,
Yeah.
and obviously the work that Senator Testa does, I don't know how he does.
I don't either. No. But he does a great job.
Yeah,
he
he
really
does. He really does. And,
Yeah.
it's obviously just getting into this line of work and
Right.
being
Yeah, it's
involved
true.
with the
Elected
politics
office,
over
yeah.
the few years. It's not easy, and I see how you do it as just, as you say, at the county level, municipal level, but at his level, it just
Yeah.
gets, 10 times worse, I'm sure, and just
Yeah,
the stuff
it's
that you're
true.
doing and
Covering.
the time that you dedicate to it. It's,
Yeah. And having to go to Trenton and covering Cape May and Cumberland County, a little bit of Atlantic County.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm telling you, Mr. Quinn, but you've done it for,
Well,
for a long time yourself.
you know-
It's not easy for sure.
No, but it's got to be tougher for them. I mean, I always wanted to be an assemblyman, run for assembly, but my good friend Jeff Andrews said, no, you raise taxes, you're not running for assembly. So anyway, that's why I never ran for assembly. But, it's one of those situations.
There's definitely an art to it.
Yeah, well, and you got to be at the right place at the right time. And
Yeah.
he just didn't want me to be that. But I was lucky. Like, one of the dreams I had, and I'm sure this comes down to you too, being the sheriff. I remember as a little boy, even at St. Mary's, I always thought, boy, I'd like to be the mayor of Millville someday. At 12, 13. I was sort of the leader at St. Mary's. I was in charge of the safety patrol, and I was in charge of the altar boys and that type of stuff. I had a little bit of leadership skill there
Right.
anyway. And I always thought I wanted to be the mayor of Millville. And then it ended up happening. I ended up getting married, and the woman I married was from Dorchester, and we ended up moving to Morris River Township. So for 10 years, I lived in Morris River Township, very nice township. Kenny Weldon,
Yeah,
Kenny,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
My buddy who flipped. Kenny, this is funny. Kenny called me up. He goes, Jim, I just want to tell you, this is 2 years ago. I flipped from Democrat to Republican. I said, good for you, you'll win. And he did. So it worked out, really well.
Yeah, he's really good. He does a lot. I mean, he's another one of those guys down
Yeah.
in the township areas that are just, their name rings out
Yeah.
from down there.
Yeah.
And the work that they're doing, within their community, it's amazing.
It's like, my gosh, what do you tell me, 90-some square miles, Morris River
Yeah,
Township?
it's a lot bigger than most people think.
Well, I was shocked. I was on the school board down there, and I find out part of Mill May is in Morris River Township.
Yes.
So we took the kids from Mill May back instead of sending them to Buena. But this is a big, big county. And, of course, Vineland's 69 square miles, Millville's 44, and the Morris River, I think he said, was like 90-something.
It's I don't know the exact number, but I know it's
Yeah.
pretty big. Like when you say the number, it's pretty large.
Yeah, it really is. We're talking with Cumberland County's newest sheriff, Mike Donato. We'll be back to talk more with Mike about the Sheriff's Department right after these messages.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Hey, check this out. Hernia repair. That ain't nothing, man. Kidney surgery. That's nothing. Gallbladder removal.
That's nothing. Spinal repair. I don't see nothing.
Exactly.
Minimally invasive robotic surgery at Inspira Health. Scar so small, it's almost like nothing ever happened.
Life on Earth offers some challenges. Things are constantly changing. Seems like we're fighting battles all the time. But you're a warrior for God, and He's given you the armor of God. Join Pastor Myers for this exciting series on how to be equipped to win. It begins May 5th at 11 a.m.
New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
Imagine.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guest is Mike Donato, Cumberland County Sheriff. And Mike, what have you been in office now, about 3 months?
Yeah, so January 1st. So
Yeah.
4 months completed, and we're starting the 5th. It felt like forever after the election
started.
to get there, and now it seems like we're in May already. Things are moving along pretty good.
Well, see, you're young. Wait till you get to be old. Time really flies.
Some days I have days, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's fun, too. One of the things, a fellow works, or is a friend of mine, actually, doesn't work for me anymore. He works in the courthouse in maintenance and stuff. And he was really impressed because I guess you had some of your officers handing out brochures trying to get people to become sheriff's officers.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things, we're all facing is trying to get not only, police officers, sheriff's officers, corrections officers, but trying to get good police officers and good corrections officers.
Right.
At times, the way the times are, you want to hire good candidates, you want thorough backgrounds completed, and we set off on a mission, day one, that's what we wanted to do. And we're doing very well. We're still, I believe we're 9 people short.
Is 64 the max?
Yeah, we're up in, I want to say it's 62 or 63 is where I think we're at, or where we need to be at. But we're getting a ton of applications in. It seems like we've gotten the word out so much, and listen, I'm excited to say that we've taken in police officers from other police departments.
Hey, wait a minute, that's the reverse, pal.
I know. I mean, listen, it's a shock to me too, and I still. We swore one in a couple of weeks ago, and I'm actually swearing another one in on Monday.
Fantastic.
And we'd have some interest from other departments here in the county, and it's a good feeling that that's happening, because usually the role is a reverse on that, and you would know that.
Sure.
From your time on the freeholder board.
Junior Duffield, because he came from the sheriff's department, is one of my buddies.
We got hired together, Junior and I, and we went to the police academy together.
You know what, Mike? When I was the mayor, I got to do ride-alongs. He and Larry Mulford were just great sense of humor.
I know Larry. Yep.
Yeah, and I just really loved doing ride-alongs with Dave McDonald was super. An awful lot of them were. They were really, really good guys. But we gained them from the sheriff's department. Well, Junior came over. This is an interesting story. What I would normally do the ride-along, and this, I think, was a Friday night or Saturday night. Anyway, I said, Junior, come on, I'll buy you some pizza or something. He took his lunch break. So I went in with him, and fortunately, I went to the bathroom before I got back to the car. He goes, Mayor, hurry up. We ended up on a chase. It was the scariest thing of my life. I technically probably shouldn't have been in the car. We went, Mike, from 10th and Main in Millville to through Morris River to out 49, went to Upper Township, Middle Township, Lower Township, Middle Township. That chase went for 45 minutes. And luckily, the dispatchers from those areas were had police officers at intersections for us and all. Ooh, they finally got him, and Eddie Zadroga was following us, and they were able to arrest the guy. And the guy did do some jail time, 6 months. He was a drunk driver, obviously. That's one of my experiences. I probably shouldn't have been there, but I'll never forget. That was. Oh, here's
probably shouldn't
one.
tell too many people that story.
No, probably not. No. Well, you know what's neat? This is great, folks. Listen to this. This is wonderful. I had a friend sort of threaten me recently, and he said, these people are bad-mouthing you and saying this and this and this about you. And I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm not running for office. They say whatever they want. It's probably not true, but that's okay.
Right.
Say whatever you'd like to say. But, yeah, that's true. It was. Oh, here's another one that was scary, and this was on me. We had a killing, a murder in Millville, and it was 2001, I think. So the young man was killed, and the what do you call it? The minister that was going to do a candlelight service on the young man's mom's porch asked me to come. I said, sure, I'll be happy to come there. So I went and expressed my condolences to the mother and the sister for losing their son and brother, respectively. And there were probably about 40, 50 people out in the street. And here's how bright I am. I said to them, I said, you know what, folks? I strongly believe anyone possessing an illegal gun should do 3 to 5 years in prison. I come off the steps, and I think it was Junior came over to me. He said, hey, Mayor, half the people you just said that to are packing right now. Oh, my God.
Probably.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you a funny story about Junior. I mean, we got to be very friendly. You know, we worked together at church, but came all at the same time, went to police academy together. And, Junior was probably one of the fastest ones running in the police academy.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Yeah, he was a good athlete.
Yeah, and I used to laugh all the time. And, I know we'd stayed kind of friendly over the years, and, we still see each other once in a while now. But over the years, I just remember, we would compare stories. And he said, I chased this guy, when he was in Millville, because I went to Bridgeton at the time.
Right.
And, but he was fast. I'd give him that.
Here's another Junior funny story. I'm with him one night, and behind Luciano's junkyard, there's a pickup truck that's broke down. The guy's getting a jump. Luciano people came out to jump him. Well, Junior went up, and the fella had his pickup truck door open, and Junior's standing inside trying to get the guy's registration, insurance card, and all that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, the guy once he gets it started, he throws it in reverse. And luckily, Junior was able to jump out of the way, and he goes backing up. Now, this is about the boulevard, Southeast Boulevard, down below the mall. And he didn't realize there was a gully there. So he ends up going with the truck into the gully. So he's taken off, and, of course, Junior's going after him. And Junior says, let the dog out, Mayor. And that guy went right down. And we didn't have a dog.
That was one of the best. That was one of the best kept secrets. At the time.
So you knew that.
I've used that a few times. When you can't catch him, you just start hollering for the dog, and then generally, there was quite a few times when people would just stop.
Yeah, this guy just lay down on the ground with his arms out. So see all those neat secrets. You knew those too.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Sometimes you just had to think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, well, that was a good thing to do. But I just really admired the Millville Police Department at that point in time and everything that they did and what you have to do. And Dave, I don't know if you knew Dave McDonald.
Absolutely.
What a great guy. He was one of my Little Leaguers, and he did a wonderful job with Elsie Garden, Elsie Village. He had a photographic memory. He was just, in fact,
he knew everybody.
He did. You know what he would do?
And he knew their family.
Yeah, he did. And Elsie Garden, Elsie Village, this is a cute story. I get down there with him after I get elected. He wanted to show me what was going on. Really cleaned up nice, and Mrs. Gould was the manager, and she's praising Dave, and she said, everything's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now she said, you want to hear the bad side of it? I said, what's that? She said, all our bad people are now living in Center City, Millville. This was like in 97. It's because they couldn't live there anymore because they violated drugs and violations, stuff like that. But,
I know when I did work narcotics for many, many years, especially back then when we were dealing with in Millville, Dave was like the guy because you could say, give him a couple key things, and he'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so, and this one lives here, and that one.
We were riding back from a Phillies game one Sunday on 55, and I'm passing this car. He goes, Mayor, slow down. And he looks at the guy. He says, "That's such and such. He's got a warrant." He called the Millville police in that game. He was amazing. And he's now like a full-time correction, or I'm sorry, he at Millville High School. He's doing security.
Security.
Yeah, he was doing it part-time blind, but he's got full-time in Millville. So
Yeah, I haven't seen him in quite a few years.
yeah, he's a good man. Well, at least we knew a lot of the same similar good people. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
We're talking with Sheriff Mike Donato, who is in his 5th month now, starting his number 5 month as the sheriff. And we'll be back to talk more about his department and what's going on right after these messages.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find Him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find Him. That's by personal experience with Him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to Him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Richie Morris, what a great guy. You know him, right?
Absolutely.
He said,
yes.
Way to go, Mike. And Loris Genovese, secretary to the Cumberland County Regular Republican Organization. Stevie Milletta, a wonderful man from Lawrence Township.
Yeah.
He and his brother. And Mary Messick, a friend of mine watching, Peggy Donadio. And Frank Thon said, always nice watching your shows, Jim. And I want to remind everybody, you know, this program is seen not only Channel 22, but it's on Quinn Broadcasting Facebook page and the Quinn Broadcasting YouTube channel. And you can see it any time. If you know, a relative wasn't home or somebody wanted to see it, just go out there and you can watch it at any time. It'll be there with Mike, it'll probably be there for years and years and years to come. So it must have been an exciting night. As you said, it was close. You weren't sure for a while.
Oh, no. I mean, so obviously, you know, I made a run in 20, which was a lot different.
Yeah.
You know, with COVID and everything that was going on at that time, and you didn't get, you know, always heard about election night and the things that go on, and the energy in the rooms and the different places, but we couldn't experience that.
Oh, that's right.
So
I forgot about
you know,
that. Yeah.
leading into this one, and yeah, it was. I mean, it was an exciting night. I remember probably a couple hours before, it was maybe 5 o'clock. I just was finally hit me.
Yeah.
Getting nervous and, anticipating, how hard you work to do things and the time and the effort that we'd put into it and all the people that helped us. And, you want to be successful. And I remember getting there to the Double Eagle and everybody's there. And, it's a lot of excitement. And obviously we were watching your show. And I remember telling my wife, I'm like, hey, listen, this could, I got a tough race. Like this is,
right. Sure, you had 5-term incumbent.
This is tough, and it could be, we had to prepare for it. These guys could be very successful, and I could, I could lose, and you just don't know. It's an election.
Right. Yeah.
And so as the night was going on, we're watching the numbers, and obviously your show was up there with you and Nick Saltover, and told her a little bit beforehand. We kind of knew where the numbers were at, and I said, I think I'm good. And she was like, when I see it up there on that TV, referring to your show, she was then I know we're good. And I was like, okay, but I think we're good. I think we won, And
one thing I wanted to talk about. Tell me a little bit more about your wife and your children. You have a child or so that's very talented. Follow it or something.
They're all talented.
Okay, well, yeah,
I can't say just one of them.
That's true. No, good point. That's why you got elected. Yes.
No, we no. So my wife and I, we've been married for over 26 years. Pretty much lived in Cedarville most of all that time.
That's God's country. Come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. One traffic light, a hardware store, a ice cream stand, and a gas station. But we have 4 wonderful children. 3 girls. The girls are the oldest, all 3 of them. My son's the youngest. My oldest daughter, Alyssa, loves sports. She played sports. Division II athlete at Kutztown, played softball and field hockey.
Okay, because I kept following you on Facebook, and they have a bunch of things.
So she's the older one, first team All-American. I mean, just phenomenal.
Congratulations.
She now coaches Division II field hockey at Frostburg State.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So she's living a dream of hers too.
Oh, no, great.
Something she wanted to do. My middle daughter, Christina, first grade teacher, graduated from Rowan 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right. Before we went on the air, you were telling me
she loves
that.
it. She's phenomenal with the kids.
Oh, that's
she
great.
loves. She does very well with the kids. She loves it. Obviously being a teacher, you have your moments and days, but she comes home and she'll tell us stories about some of the kids. It just it's right up her alley. It's perfect for her.
That's great.
And then our youngest daughter, Juliana, is a junior at Kutztown.
Oh, wow.
Finishing up. She plays field hockey there also.
Okay, that's probably where I saw you guys going out.
Yeah, so we obviously. Juliana, same thing. She's just doing a phenomenal job. She's first team All-American this year as a junior. The Division II National Championship they won back in November.
That's fantastic.
Kutztown field hockey, it's just a phenomenal program. And then my son Jarrett is young. He played soccer almost all his whole career, going up through but his whole life going up through high school and travel, and then he just. When it come to the college, we figured, all right, well, we got a couple more years. So he's going to play college, and he decided not to. But he's doing it. He's here at Cumberland, doing, taking classes, law enforcement, and go figure law enforcement. And we've had a conversation a couple months ago. He's going to go into law enforcement.
That's
so we're excited for him.
It's going to make you feel good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Obviously that puts a little bit more stress on you.
Yeah, no, I understand.
With some of the stuff,
but he's admired what you've done.
But
he your footsteps.
He wants to do it. We've had a lot of conversations about it. So, and listen, I mean, if anybody follows my Facebook, we love spending time with the kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I saw a lot.
We wherever they go, we travel with them. Yeah. We do the best we can. I was very fortunate over the years to be able to do
it. That's nice. And how far is Kutztown?
So out 476. We're there, and usually with no traffic, 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
It's like it's on autopilot. We've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We just get in the car and we go, and we're generally speaking wherever they go, in that we kind of follow with them. And
that's nice.
We always try to take my mom or my mother-in-law. We try and load them up when we can to get them out to see them play, and we just
fantastic. Go. Yeah, that's great. My son and my grandchildren up there played, competitive soccer and baseball and all those things. And my little grandsons. They're great soccer players, and yeah.
Well, you have to let us know, because after next year, we're going to have to follow somebody around. Because
yeah.
Me and my wife were talking about it. We're already, getting that's a little bit of stress knowing that it's her last year coming up, and I know we'll go watch Alyssa coach.
Yes,
and
that's
watch
for
her when
sure.
she's playing.
Yeah.
Her
great.
team
But what a wonderful thing that sports brings to the family, the togetherness and supporting each other, and it's just really wonderful that you've had that opportunity.
Yeah, very fortunate to be able to, with a grueling schedule sometimes, to be able to get out and do it. And then obviously when I retired in 20, that was just a mission we weren't going to miss at that point.
So one of the things you said, you still need a few sheriff's officers?
Yeah, currently we're nine people
down.
short.
Okay.
We've accepted, and matter of fact, come Monday, I'll be swearing in two new recruits who will attend the Atlanta County Police Academy.
Oh, okay, good.
And I'll be swearing in another officer coming in from another agency here in the county.
Super.
He's coming over to us. So that's 3. And then we've got a very good list coming up for the August Academy in Gloucester County. So I'm happy with the numbers at this point, and I don't know that we'll ever fill and be able to hold that whole number, but I'm thinking we're going to do pretty good over the next couple of years.
Well, I had a young man, he was the assistant manager of Rite Aid, super guy, and he wanted to get into law enforcement. And of course, this was when Millville, Jody was still there. I know Jody knew him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I told him about that. And I did tell him this, Mike, and I'm hoping he went over to the sheriff's department. I said, you should go to the sheriff's department. I said, first of all, from a quality of life standpoint, and you know this, if I were going to be an officer, I'd rather be a sheriff's officer than a regular police officer, because basically you're 8:30 to 4:30 with your warrants and the courthouse. And I know there's times you have to go out, but generally you're not working the midnight shift and rotating shifts and all that kind of stuff. And to me that looked very enticing. So I did mention this to Kevin, the fellow that was up there. So I haven't seen him recently, but I know he wants to be a sheriff's officer.
Yeah, and generally speaking, when it comes down to it, and when you start talking, dollars and cents, we're pretty comparable now with the starting salary of the police departments. The last contract that they had negotiated the year before is probably one of the better contracts that they've had, and it puts them competitive. And I don't think that there's anybody that's left there in maybe a year and a half to 2 years that have left to for better money. I mean, sometimes these guys or girls are going to leave because the nature of the job. They want to do police work, or they want to do investigative work or something along that, which is going to, and that's what I wanted to do. So I knew the direction that I really wanted to go in. I was just very fortunate that it happened the times that it happened. So I can't fault them for that, by no means. Yeah. But the people that we're getting in, the guys and girls that are inquiring about leaving the police departments, we just can't manage that type of money. So some of them they have to take have to take a significant pay cut to come. Yeah. But then you have to outweigh the midnight shifts and the quality of life when it comes to day shift. And, and we're doing a lot of proactive things. We have these guys out there proactively doing stuff. So that's a good thing, too, that it kind of keeps them up on what they need to do when they're doing car stops and things that they're coming across. So.
Well, Carl Johnson Olive said, my son Drew works there and loves his job. He's been there for 20 plus years, I believe. So thankful for get that last part in, but anyway, she's thankful that he's there. Thank for the new, I guess she means the new sheriff. Oh, do you have a new ward?
The ward? No. Charles Abino's the warden. Uh-huh. Who is it? I didn't.
This is Carol Johnson Olive. I appreciate all the hard work that they've achieved through their employees recently. So. And Mary Messick, who's very active in Millville, said that she's hopeful you'll come out with your sheriff's officers once in a while. They have what they call play streets in Millville.
Yep. I'm familiar with Mary. Okay. I've met her quite a few times.
Okay, yeah. And I've seen you at Millville City commission meeting, speaking. And
I made it a point to try and get out when I first won, and there were some that people that I didn't know, and I would introduce myself to city council, their commissioners, and just let them know we're here, whatever we can eat. And now moving forward, we're going to periodically be attending some of these meetings and just kind of to see what's going on and what we can help out with.
Yeah, that's the one thing I think that I did see the past sheriffs. If there was some big event going on at Fortescue, or like the Crab Festival, you'd send some people down to assist the state police. And, and I don't know if people realize, folks, in Cumberland County there are 3 municipal police departments: Millville, Vaughan, and Bridgeton. There are 14 municipalities. There's 11 of them that have no police except state police.
State police.
And so, I mean, the sheriff can go in and, if they're having Upper Deerfield Township Day, I'm sure.
No, absolutely. We've made it a point, obviously, that we're going to continue to be out in the townships and in the cities wherever we're needed to help out with whatever we can. I mean, we do offer some resources that some of them do not have readily available. The drone program, our canine program. I mean, so whatever we can do to help out, we're going to make ourselves to do that. And
so you still have the canine program?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Great.
We actually do have another one in training now. It's set to graduate. I believe it's June 7th.
Oh, that's super.
16-week program. Brand new dog. We had gotten in, and the trainer has had one in the past, the handler.
That's good.
So we were able to get him into a school, and anxious to get him back. And my understanding of it, knock on wood, he's doing very well.
That's good.
So
it was funny. You know Tony Lotek, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Well, Tony was a police officer when I was the mayor, and he kept lobbying me to get canine in Millville. So I finally convinced Bill Herman to get canine, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, I remember using Tony's dog over the years for narcotics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right, because you were in the... So you started the Bridgeton Police?
Sheriff's Department
first, then you went to Bridgeton Police.
Yeah, I went to Bridgeton in 98, and I think it was like March of 98. Was on the road and patrol, and I'll tell you, I loved patrol. I really did. Now, Bridgeton's not very big, 6.8 square miles, roughly, I think it is, 6.9, something like that.
Right, yep.
So there's a lot of activity. So we were very busy, and I enjoyed it. I thought to myself, this is where I'm going to be at. I'm not going anywhere. And I was able to, after a couple of years, I was able to make detectives and was in detectives and narcotics, and I was living the dream at that point. And then it's the time that Prosecutor Casella had come on, and Kenny Palugi, and they had made some changes there to the prosecutor's office, and were expanding. And I'll never forget, I got the call one day, and they were like, "Would you like to come work for us?" And I was just like floored, like, I have to get back to you. I was kind of caught off guard by it. And I was out there to the county drug unit at the time as a Bridgeton police officer. And I remember, having a lot of conversations with a lot of people. Like, I never thought I was going to leave Bridgeton. And finally I was, met with a couple people that I confided in with their experiences with the police department and everything. And they're like, you have to go. Like, what you want to do and be involved with a lot of these bigger cases and major crimes, you can't do that here in Bridgeton.
Right.
And you'd really need to go. And that and after that, it was 2003, I believe, I went there. And then
wow. Yeah. And when did you retire from there?
2020.
Wow.
Yeah, just over 20. I had like 25 and a half years in, roughly, is what it was.
Wow. Yeah, I've always said I never met you. And they said, it's a good thing. I said, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, obviously being at the prosecutor's office, we weren't allowed to engage in politics. But I always followed it. I always took an interest in it. I was always interested in it. I was especially working for county government at the prosecutor's office. I always took an interest in it, and, kept thinking about what I wanted to do when I retired.
Well, and it's interesting, to your credit, Mike. I mean, you ran a campaign and weren't successful, and you put a lot of time and effort. And I got to tell you, to the Republican credit, and of course Joe Condo and I have become friendly.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Jimmy Sorrow and different people that I know that are Republicans who run campaigns. You guys really work hard. I mean, we did very, very hard, and it pays off. It really did.
It was, I'd known Jimmy and his wife over the years, kind of knew of him, had met him a few times, and then, we got to become pretty friendly throughout the campaign, and I give Jimmy a lot of credit because he hung in there right with us.
Yeah.
He was just like, where are we going? Where are we going?
And he's got high energy.
And I would be doing this certain things and drive, and he goes, you drive, I'll jump out, and but it was fun. It really was. I mean, we spent a lot of time together, a lot of different places, a lot of food. Right?
Yeah, that's true, which is a good thing. But I would run into an awful lot of people. Oh my God, the Republicans were everywhere. They were out. And to your guys' credit, that's something valuable. I did not see that from the Democrats. And again, in fairness, the red wave comes in, and that was a good thing for the Republicans, not a good thing for the Democratic Party. And I tell this story, one of my very favorite, of course, I like you a lot too. One of my favorite Republicans is Joe Spracio.
Yes, Joey.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He and I were on the Freeholder board together. He sat next to me, and then after the meetings, we'd go out and get dinner. And just his family, I can't see,
very nice people. Yeah,
Anthony
absolutely.
and everybody, just
Mr. Spracio. Yeah.
Yes, great people. So anyway, at that time, folks, when Joe, this was back about 5 years ago, Joe was the only Republican out of 10 elected positions in Cumberland County. Now there's 7 county commissioners, then there were 7 county freeholders, and the 3 constitutional officers, of which Mike holds one of those as a sheriff. You got Celeste Riley right now as the Democrat. She holds the county clerk job. And of course, my good buddy Skip Luisi has the surrogate's job. He's got a great personality too. So now it's flipped. It went from Joey Spracio, the only Republican, 9 Democrats. Now Celeste Riley, the only Democrat, 9 Republicans. That says a lot for Senator Testa, for Joe Condo, for all of you that have worked very, very hard and, have done very well.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, Senator Testa started that for us in 2019 when he flipped that first district with him and Antoine and Eric. I mean, just what an amazing thing they did. I remember following it. Obviously, couldn't get involved in it, but I just remember following what was going on. It was like, wow, there's good things are coming. Like, so there's going to be a change, and I've learned a lot. Like, there's people think, oh, you just go to chicken barbecues, and I'm like, there's a lot more to it. Like there's a lot of time, and obviously I'm not telling you anything, obviously, but I didn't realize a lot of that, until you actually sit down and do it, and what it takes to put your name out there like that.
About that Freddie Hunt, isn't he amazing? I heard you had a big breakfast Saturday, right?
Yeah, Freddie hosts a lot of those. I mean, I think they had a late turnout. It was only 100.
I know, isn't that amazing?
But Freddie gets upset. Freddie's fired up.
It's at least 5 times.
We get 130, 140 people, and there's somebody down there, and they just put on a phenomenal.
They do.
They just put on a
really
show.
do.
I've known Freddie since I was just a little kid. Him and my father were great friends through the fire department. And, I've known them guys for forever. And
Donnie and Freddie, good guys. They were. Boy, and then coming back to what you're saying about the fire departments. There's the salt of the earth. I mean, I think of Buddy Hughes. I think of, all the different people I know throughout the region, the fire departments. They're the salt of the earth because they're getting nothing. They're there volunteering and working hard. And, every time I've been to the Cedarville Fire Department, the meals and things, people are wonderful. The food is great. And, you get to see an awful lot of nice people.
Yeah, listen, we're very fortunate. A lot of people that come to visit our fire department, they see the equipment that we have there and the people that are there helping. I mean, we get people that just that aren't even involved in the fire department come out and help us. And not that they don't in other places. They do a lot of, you couldn't do it alone in a lot of places to get that. But, one thing my father and Mike Scarlato and some of the old timers from back then would tell us is, they never wanted to hear you say one bad thing about the township or the township committee, because they always said if you ever think of anything, just look around to what you have here in conjunction with some of the other places you may go to.
Lawrence Township's fantastic.
They've always taken very good care of the first responders in our town, and no matter who was sitting in those seats, it always just kept going. I mean, obviously Skip's been in one of those seats for, I don't even know how many years, 30, 40 years or something like that. He said it. I went to, when he was sworn in this year, And I forget exactly what he said, but it's probably 40 years or something, I think now. Or
because I had 35 and a half in government. He's got me beat by several, so he's in the 40s. But what a super guy. I just love his personality, love talking to him. He's always upbeat, positive.
Yeah.
He's the Energizer Bunny. My God, he's got all the energy in the world. And he
keeps going.
Yeah, he really does.
And everybody knows him. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's neat, too, is how they operate the township. Because is it Joey Milletta? The council. He's actually a registered Democrat, but they rotate through.
Yeah, they rotate yearly on the.
Who's the other person now?
John Tisa.
Oh, I like John.
Yeah,
yes.
John. Yeah, John got in.
Yeah,
I think the year before.
Yeah, that's So you got three good guys.
Yeah, when Erwin Shepard.
That's right.
Stopped doing it.
Tom Shepard and I were on the freeholder board together, and I knew Erwin was on the township committee. But yeah, Cedarville is one of my favorite places. The kids were great. I got to work down there for a couple of years in the school as a speech therapist, and all the people. In fact, this was funny. I used to go to Patitucci's garage.
Yeah, right there on the corner.
I worked for Millville Automotive when I was first out of high school, and I used to deliver parts, so that was one of my stops.
Okay.
To go down there when I was 17.
Right across there was the old Charleston Market.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Oh, and I had friends, we were going back to St. Mary's, the Romanos. They went to St. Mary's, so I forget her first name, short little Romano girls, and we used to have class get-togethers down on their farm and all that stuff.
Yep.
So a lot of good people. You were lucky. You grew up in a good neighborhood.
Yeah, it was nice. And it's funny because back then, you talk to some of the people that have been there forever, and even I still do it. I start to do it now. Well, that was so-and-so's house,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And this place was, that.
Yeah.
But
that means you're getting a little older when you're in
Yeah. And we lived right across the street from the bank, and I know we talked about it with Sandy Taylor. We'd always go see Miss Sandy because she would always feed us lollipops. We were riding our skateboards and roller skating in the parking lot. She would always give us lollipops out the window.
Now she won, see? Yeah, she had mentioned to me about how great you were as a kid because she was my banker, and she used to bank right there at Farmers and Merchants, which was right across the street from your house, I guess, right, as well.
Yeah.
But that's that local hometown flavor where you knew the banker, you knew the store owners and John.
Yeah, it was just it's strange to think back how I remember getting a little bank book, and you would take your money and they type what you had in there.
That's right.
And that was what you had.
Yeah,
a piece of paper.
Wait, speaking of banking, I know Sandy worked for TD Bank and then she retired. My cousin Rob Curley is the president of TD Bank.
Okay.
And I talked to him the other day, and things are not going well. What's happening is they're closing 20 more TD Bank offices. But it's not because business is down. It's because people are doing online banking, and they don't come to the bank.
They don't come to the bank.
So they don't need the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see the positives and the negatives.
Sure.
People lose their jobs. And my cousin's like, Jim, I can't believe we lost 20 branches,
And it's weird because I remember, as a kid, my father going across the street. Mr. Dobson was the manager at the time back there.
Well.
Charlie, right? I was thinking Dalbo. I was trying to think of, and back then you go over and you say, hey, I need to, borrow $1,000 or I need to borrow $2,000, and all right, fill out, sign this paper, and you walked out. Now it's. You need an arm and a leg, and you got to give everything back. When it was back when everybody knew everybody, you're like, yep, just sign this paper. My dad always used to tell me, he goes, never ever ruin your credit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Always pay your bills.
Yeah,
and to be able to walk in and do that.
Yeah,
because you can't just walk in and do that if you don't pay your bill.
Yeah, well, and you come from a good family with good reputation, and Dad set the example, and you followed it, and I'm sure your kids are, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Michael, it's great to have you in. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
You're even better in person.
We're done already? That was quick.
Did that time go by? Well, you got to promise me to come back again.
Absolutely, I will. I will. And I appreciate you having me.
My pleasure. Mike Donato, who is the Cumberland County Sheriff, here on our Round South Jersey program. And we thank you for joining us. Ryan Narowski, thanks for producing the show today. And have a great evening, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.